Hi guys, Daz here with another comic book haul, and this time it is episode 42 in what was pretty much a lighter week for me because a week or so ago I was at the Birmingham Comic Con and spent out quite a bit there, so I've been saving the pennies a little bit, but I have got some good issues and for this week, and I managed to find another winner in a charity shop. Stay tuned to the end because I've got a lot of books coming out this week. I'm heading down to Bristol tomorrow because it's going to be a big week, particularly for indie. And I'm enjoying my indie titles at the moment. And I've also got some nice books to look out for down the line. So let's get into the books. Starting with this one, Fantastic Four, issue number 4. And this is the first appearance of the team on the front cover, the Fantastics. And this is an Esad Ribic cover. Like I say, guys, I am trying to cut back now, particularly on my Marvel books. I am fed up of the number of mashups, the number of variants, and the price point seems to be increasing all the time. The recent Uncanny X-Men had about 30 different titles and an £8 price point. Who's going to pay that? You wait a month or two and you'll usually find them in £1 or a 50p box. So they may not be as high a grade, but it is what it is. And DC, I found, starting to go down that road again. Their regular issue, recent issue ones were coming out at £5 a piece. I'm not prepared to pay that for a new book. I can't afford to. So I am really enjoying my indie titles at the moment. And, the lower print runs, the option books. I like chasing down my hot comic book alerts as well. It is what it is. I'm not paying out these new book prices. Also, from DC, one that I thought for this week, there was two actually this week that I did grab. This is Justice League Odyssey because this is the first appearance of a character called Rapture, and Rapture is an ally of Azrael, and I do like Azrael, so I thought that one was worth picking up. And that is a Stefan Sejic cover, Like I say, the other first appearance for DC this week I picked up was in Flash issue 59. And this is the first appearance, I think it is a Spanish character, a villain called Freza. And this is the variant Carl Kershey cover. And I thought the black and white looked okay. And I am a Flash fan. I've got the biggest Flash run you've ever seen. Of course, I pre-ordered this book from Forbidden Planet, and they were always turning up rubbish, so I cancelled that and picked this one up, minty off the shelf from Planet All Stars, regular, and of course it is. This is the variant to Batgirl issue 29. Just a stunning cover from my man, of course, Joshua Middleton. Stay tuned because I've got some more from him coming up at the end of this episode. And look at it, he is just fantastic, Joshua Middleton. There's no denying, he is the best man in the business for me. Now on to some indie titles I picked up, and I picked this one up. This is Monstrous. This is from Source Point Press. I've read this. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I didn't hate it. Basically, in an effort to create more monsters like himself, Frankenstein uses his creatures' scientific findings. Frankenstein uses his creators' scientific findings, but things quickly go bad, ushering in an era of monsters and those who seek revenge against them. This is going for a bit of coin. It's up to £10 on eBay. And unbelievably, I managed to find 2 copies. I thought I only paid for one, but when I got home, I had 2. And they're both minty as mint can be, so I'll hold one and probably stick one in a prize. Because that is a pretty sought after book at the moment. Up next, with my LCS, I placed on my pull list, I've asked for, if possible, all the Rags comics from Antarctic Press, all the punchlines from Antarctic Press, and this comic from Red 5, and that is Riptide. I was happy to get this week. This is the number 2 second print. And I like this because it's almost got like that movie poster sort of a vibe. Reminds me a lot of Jaws, the movie poster. I've read issue 1 and quite enjoyed Riptide. Basically, the world's oceans, I believe, are just rising and rising. And taking over the land a little bit. So, yeah, more water than land soon. This was the book of the week, probably for me. Well, on eBay, it certainly is. Delighted to get one. They had 2 copies in my shop. In hindsight, I wish I'd grabbed both. This is, again, from Antarctic Press. Probably living off the hype of Punchline and Rags. But this is Star's End. Star's End, issue 1. Look at that stunning cover. Love the reflection in the helmet there. And this is basically animal life enhanced by aliens thousands of years ago, live in advanced civilizations in outer space with humans as their slaves. So basically, my cats would now be in charge of me. I don't like the thought of that much, I've got to be honest. But I've looked in the interior art and it is stunning, so I'm looking forward to reading that. This was a book I pre-ordered on Forbidden Planet, not expecting to get it. I have since been told I've been charged and one's been dispatched, so I'm going to have a second copy very soon. But this was one of the best reads I've had in some time. I managed to find the first print in Forbidden Planet, and this is the second print, and it is a stunner. This is from Vault Comics, These Savage Shores. Look at that. That is amazing. Tomb of Dracula homage cover there. Love it. Like I say, second printing. That is a really good read, guys. Reminded me a lot of Interview with a Vampire. So if you get a chance, grab These Savage Shores. This book is hot online. This is a £15 book at the moment. A book, again, I didn't expect to get from Forbidden Planet, but they delivered. But of course, it's got a spine tick, I believe. Yeah, just one spine tick. But this is the cover that is hot. I picked up a t-shirt variant cover of this comic. This is a comic that is hot because it is adapted from a video game. And this is Life is Strange. This is the regular Claudia Leonardi cover. And this book is quite hot. It is a £15 to £20 book. I have read it. It made not a lot of sense to me because obviously I've not played the game. But my daughter is a huge fan of the game. She played it a lot and she read the comic and thought it was a fantastic addition to the universe. So yeah, I could see this being like adapted to like a TV show at some point. So Life is Strange. This is adapted from the video game of the same name. And like I say, this picks up where this game ends. So this is a continuation of the game, basically. I think it's a limited mini-series of about 4 issues. Just a few back issues now. Nothing major league. I was in Stroud in a charity shop and I managed to find this one, which was pretty cool. This is an X-Men Unlimited issue 49. I paid 99p for this. And the reason I picked this up is more goodness from my man. Yeah, it's another cover from Joshua Middleton. Nice Nightcrawler. Joshua Middleton, goodness. I went to the most disappointing con ever at the weekend. They call it a Comic Con. There was no comics. If you've seen a couple of my videos from there, it was like the Twilight Zone. I didn't even know where I was coming or going. Stayed about 30 minutes. It was like a 2-hour round drive, 2-hour trip drive, and yeah, 30 minutes I'd probably stay there. Next to no comics. I managed to find 2 there. First of them was this, which was very, very hot for a little while. I paid just 50p for it. This is the Venom. This is a Venom one-shot given to moviegoers who purchased opening weekend Venom movie tickets at AMC theaters. It's a Marvel Custom Edition exclusive, an Indicia title, and a custom Sony Pictures 2018 Venom English comic. That's the notes on the book. And like I say, it is basically an adaptation of the movie, which was very good. Well, I say very good. It's about a 7.5 for me. Like I say, this was going for crazy money at one point. This is a £20 book. It's probably dropped down to about 4 to 5 now. But if I was to ever meet any of the cast, I would get them to sign that. The other book I picked up from the Stars of Time con at West End. For £1 I paid for this. Wolverine issue 4 from 1988. This is the second series. And the reason I picked this up, this is the first appearance of Bloodscream, aka Bloodsport. It was Zachariah Ravenscraft. And this is also the first appearance of Roughhouse. Now those two characters appeared in an X-Men animated cartoon. So always nice to pick up little cameos for cheap that you can see on the screen, in my opinion. It's also the first appearance of Archie Corrigan and of Chancellor Ram and Aryam. Wow, that was a mouthful. Okay. Like I say, that con was shocking. They had an Iron Man 219, first Ghost there for £7. So much spine roll. It didn't even look like a comic. So much damage to it, and they wanted £7. Unbelievable. And they had the first appearance of Death, Sandman. Is it Sandman issue 8? First Death. I've got a copy that I picked up for £1. It's got like little holes in at the bottom where I guess a rodent or something's been at it. But this comic just had like tape pull over the front cover, and they wanted 15 for it. Oh, painful to look at. Okay, 2 last books. This was one of my hot book alerts actually. The trailer dropped recently. Is a Disney film coming. The trailer really promising to me. And this is the first adaptation. This is the first time it appeared in comic book form, but it's not a comic. This is a graphic novel. This is Disney's upcoming film, Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl. It's a graphic novel, and I paid just £2.25 for that. It's not the best knit. I think it was a library copy. I basically had a library ticket inside it, which I've now removed. It's probably only mid-grade, but it's a good chance for me to read all about the film before it comes out. And finally, this was a nice find. Well, I say a nice find. It was in a charity shop. I paid £2.50 for this, and it is a 6th printing. And normally I wouldn't touch 4th, 5th, or 6th printings, but this was a book I've always wanted, and the film is supposedly coming out next year from Marvel, and this is Marvel graphic novel number 4. Yeah, delighted to have that, guys. It is basically the first appearance of the New Mutants team. That is going to be a movie. I've read it. Took me some time, but it wasn't a bad read. So that's it. The first New Mutants. Wow, in a 6th printing form for £2.50. Can't say no. That is my books, guys. It wasn't a huge haul because, like I say, I went to the Birmingham Con and picked up several key issues there, including Batman Damned 1 and Rags 1, Devil Dinosaur. I picked up some good books and spent a bit. Look at the selection of Batmans as my sponsors today. Even Bruce has got his helmet off. Look. So, a lot of books to look out for this Wednesday, and I mean a ton. This is one of the best weeks I can recall, and I'm excited to be able to have the opportunity to go to Bristol and hopefully hunt them down on the shelves. First up, we have this stunner from Joshua Middleton. He has done the variant cover for the upcoming Martian Manhunter from DC. There we go. Look out for this. Joshua Middleton's always pretty hot. His books are flying at the moment. Up next, Yasmin Putri. She's been on fire, and of course she has just delivered Nightwing issue 54. This is another nice looking cover. Nightwing 54. Up next, more from Yasmin Putri as she does Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 29. These are probably just cover boys, but they are hot, her books. Up next, this is a new one. This is a new comic coming out from Image Comics. And it basically says, Edison's Crane's not content being the world's smartest man and most successful businessman, his brilliant mind needs to be constantly challenged. He's a Nobel Prize winning scientist, genius composer, Olympic athlete, an expert in the occult, and now international governments are calling on him to fix problems they just can't handle. This is a new series called Prodigy. And this is the cover I like, the cover H Virgin variant for Prodigy. Okay, look out for this one, guys. Prodigy. That is from Mark Millar. And I think it's going to be part of the Millar world. That is on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be on Netflix, that book. Up next, yeah, like I said, I picked up Rags 1. Fantastic. I got it for 35 quid. I was quite delighted with that. I've also got Rags 2. This is the new Rags book coming out, and this is Rags 1, the second printing. And like I say, this is due out tomorrow, I believe. Rags 1, the second printing. That will be on fire. Because if Rags 1 had a small print run, the second printing is going to be minute. This is a nice cover. I may well pick this up. This is another book from Image Comics. This is a lovely Stephanie Hans cover. And basically the premise is the Wicked and the Divine writer Kieran Gillen teams up with artist Supernova Stephanie Hans for her first ongoing comic. Die is a pitch black fantasy where a group of 40-something adults have to deal with the returning unearthly horror they barely survived as teenage role players. If Kieran's in a rush, he describes it as a goth Jumanji. Sounds good. That only captures a slither of what you'll find in oversized debut issue where fantasy gets all too real. Look at this cover. This is a beauty from Stephanie Hans. She's fire as well at the moment. Die from Stephanie Hans. Gothic Jumanji. Sounds really cool. Up next, just a bit of Martina. I probably won't grab this, but I know there's a lot of fans. I recently picked up a Martina signature on one of my books from Joker 68's Winnings, which I was delighted about. This is his Batman 60. Nice Bane cover there, look, on Penguin. Like I say, it's a big week, guys. Al Ewing, I met him, got him to sign 28 books. I know I preach it, but that's just madness. I think he's a good guy. Immortal Hulk issue 10 is coming out, and this is where the one above all reveals who he is, I believe. This is another stunning cover, I believe, from is it Alex Ross? Could be Alex Ross. Immortal Hulk number 10. Of course, Immortal Hulk number 2 is on fire at the moment. First appearance, Dr. Fry. This is another Image first issue, and this is a new title called Self-Made, and introducing a new creative team. Everyone will be talking about superstar talent writer Matt Groom and artist Eduardo Federico. When chaos besieges the kingdom of Arcadia, warrior Alama Setali sees it as her chance to escape her clearly defined role and to change her destiny. But she could never have predicted that it would also be her first chance to confront her god. In his debut editorial role, comic veteran Carl Higgins guides this intimate, world-spanning story of self-discovery. Quite like the cover. It's Self-Made. Not sure I'll be grabbing it, but I know there are a lot of Image fans out there. Self-Made. This is one I'm hoping to get. This is a new character that's going to meet the Dream Dimension's newest resident, and this is in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur issue 38. Always a small print run, but that could be key. New character appearing in this one. And then two really hot indie books. The number ones were fire. This is probably going to be the same. This is from Scout Comics. I've managed to grab myself a first issue. This is The Source, number 2 from Scout Comics. Number 1 is Fire. And finally, my books of this week, I'm looking out for. I want to grab this. I grabbed issue 1. It was a pretty good read. This is from Source Point Press. And this is Ogre, issue 2. Be on the lookout for this one, guys. Again, these are fire, these indie titles. If you want value that's pretty sustaining, go with the indie books. DC and Marvel don't really hold a lot. There aren't many books from them, modern books, that are doing a lot. Okay, some books to look out for down the line. This comes out on the 2nd of January 2019. And this is Unnatural, issue 6. I've got a couple of issues of this. It's a bit bizarre. I haven't read it yet. I'm not sure I want to. A big lady. Enough said. Up next, this is Middleton. This just blows you away. Every time you think you've seen the best from Middleton, he brings out another winner. Again, 2nd of January 2019, Batgirl, 30, the variant. Look at that from Middleton. Oh my days. I'm trying to cut back on Oh My Days, but this one just needs an Oh My Days. You've got to get that, guys. You've got to get it. Up next, Middle West came out recently. Did alright, Scotty Young. The second printing of issue 1 is already out. Well, sorry, it's going to be out on the 2nd of January also. And this is it. I think that will do okay. It's not really my cup of tea, but I think it'll do okay. Just 2 more left to show you guys. This is, I'm not a big fan of Jenny Frison. I'm not a big fan of this cover, but her upcoming Wonder Woman 61 cover from, again, January 2nd, 2019. Wonder Woman 61. And the final book I'm going to show you is just this is a 1 in 50 Bill Sienkiewicz incentive for Fantastic Four issue 6. And this comes out on the 16th of January. Quite like Sienkiewicz's work. I loved his Venom annual. This is his thing. Nice book to look at. But again, I don't like to show the incentives too much because they're pricey. That's Daz. 524 subscribers as I speak. Thank you so much to everybody. It really, really does motivate me to keep making videos. The fact that people are out there watching, what more can you want? Means a lot to me, guys. If you like what you see, please subscribe, all that jazz. That's Daz, over and out. Bye for now.